Alright. And it is off. And so, Mered is starting off with a bot factory. Straight off, he's got a pretty nice spawn here. He'll be able to expand and then slowly expand to that around him. And over here, we've got Orb. Orb has a sort of a lesser spawn. And actually, those two are pretty close together. However, Orb can expand northwards and get all of this metal a lot easier than Mered. He sort of has a nice expansion, and everything around him beyond that is really sparse, except for this area here. However, Scout's already out for Orb, and he's been able to see where Mered is, and that will give him an advantage. He's got this water right here, which any advanced naval can actually hit this base right here. And actually, if he works and gets any units over here, he can build naval right in here, hit all of these units really easily. Bot going to expand, build a radar, and if he can get a bomber over there, he'll be able to wipe out that bot. Expansion going slowly here, some anti-air up. Mered has seen that Orb likes to use air in the beginning. And there we go. The engineer is taken down. This bomber's swinging around, going for those two engineers. And the bombs miss them. Does one for half health, but they survive relatively unscathed. Orb working on expanding actually at this moment. He's got things set up so he will build a radar. He has another bomber out, and that's going to be used for raiding, as well as some doxes to raid expansions. But doxes are about to hit each other. And there we go. Mered's doxes have pushed forwards, and they're going to be able to move onwards, barely avoiding those incoming doxes. These guys move out of the way. Ripper's starting to come out for Mered, and he's going to be using them most likely to wage a straight-on land war. And bomber comes in, and it takes down those doxes. Almost gets the next group of doxes as well. Some northward expansion going on here. Good idea for Orb. He's got all of this metal he can get. No water expansion at this moment, which is sort of sad to see, because it would be very useful. At least some orcas or something would be able to destroy this base pretty easily and keep him from being able to stop. Commander moving forwards to work on another factory. More factories coming up. Mered likes getting up quite a few factories. He's expanding within his means. He definitely hasn't expanded quite as much as Orb, but he's using all of his metal efficiently, which will really help him in the long run. More factories coming up here for Orb, and he's starting to get rippers out as well. And a fighter was able to see those expansion. Forest fire starting up, and that will actually help clear out this brush if it continues onwards, which will actually remove any advantage any player has. Rippers moving back to join up together to hopefully protect this line. Both doxes get taken down, and it looks like Orb will win this engagement. And it looks like that Mered has a plan. He's sending units around the far side, and he's just going to try to bring them in through here, destroy these expansions, and then swing around back into the back of Orb's base. It's a smart move, but we'll see if he can pull it off. Orb already has an idea that units are coming through here. That bomber actually decides to settle down and then come back up now after that dox. Actually going after this one right here. Seems to be ignoring that one dox. Altogether, we should see it swing around. And there goes that docks. Anyways, he should have an idea that troops might be coming from this way. And hopefully we'll see him reinforce it. But at this moment, it doesn't seem to be happening. He's got units reclaiming all these trees, which gives him a nice boost of metal. However, at the cost of energy, one of these units will be using some of the energy he needs to run his factories. Lots of factories coming up in front, but with those units coming in behind, this may be it. If they can wipe out all of this expansion, it will really hurt OrbNet. Orb doesn't seem to be doing too much. He's got some air, doing some bombing raids. For the most part, not seeing any of this. And actually, that Ripper may be able to see these units here. And if he sees them, he'll be able to start moving troops up northwards. But his factories have been built close to Mered, so his units travel less to get there. But that really hampers him if he tries to go around north. And that Ripper has been destroyed, and you should know that there's units up there. Engineers coming forwards, but not sure what they're doing at this moment. Seem just to be running forwards. Maybe going to build on all of this metal here, which is a big mistake because of all of those enemy vehicles. Flanking maneuvers going on here. Ripper's trying to sneak through, and they're actually going to run into that laser defense tower, which was smartly built by Mered, and those units are now trapped. If they move forwards, they run into that tower. If they go back, they run into those troops, and they're going to be wiped out. Advanced factory queued up here. We should see it start building here relatively soon. Mered is trying to get on that. More factories coming up. Radar has gone up, and it sees all of these units here. And now Orb has to make a choice whether he keeps on funneling units to his front, or if he starts sending them around the back. He's going to want to bunch them up before doing anything else. Otherwise, Mered will see that he's starting a counteroffensive and start pushing his units forwards, maybe getting into this metal expansion here. Some factories coming around the back of his base to go ahead and start building units towards the opponent he's facing, which is from this side here. Mered has expanded very well, actually running around the other side, and he's going to be able to take down those engineers. And that expansion is left wide open. It's destroyed. And now units are going to be moving to counter up here. Those doxes are easily wiped out by those Rippers. There's just no way they can stand against them. Good offensive was going here, but Mered was able to put enough units into countering it to stop it dead in its trapes. And now he's moving through and destroying Orb's expansions. If Orb doesn't do something soon, he might lose. Definitely needs to get more troops out. He's got Rippers coming forwards, and he's pulling his engineers back to protect them, keep them from getting wiped out by those enemy units. Fighters flying over the base, giving Mered a good view of Orb's base. Commander still working on power, which is a smart idea. Just continuing to give him more and more power. Mered has only 2 fabricators working on that advanced factory, but that's alright. He's using all of his metal at this time. Troops swinging around the side now from Orb, but defenses are already going up here for Mered. He was prepared for this, and those units will doubtfully get any farther than here. For some reason, metal storage was built by Mered, which is, as I said, surprising, because normally you don't see that in a competitive play, because they tend to be more a waste of resources, because you want to be pumping your resources into factories rather than into metal storage. These units here are becoming a bit of a problem. They're being able to hit those factories without getting hit at all themselves. And they're going to just continue. That factory might go down because of them. Units have made it slightly in, but that double barrel laser tower is destroyed most of the oncoming enemies, and with the counter force coming forwards, there's not much Orb can do but pull his units back. Expansion's being destroyed here by Mered, smartly attacking from all directions, and he's been able to push back Orb pretty far. Orb has been able to push forwards at least a bit, but he pushed back all the way from here, and he's now taking care of all of these expansions here. However, Orb is really pushing up with the troops, but Mered is snuck in behind, and all of these Rippers are worthless until they can get around these wrecks, giving time to Mered's forces, which he doesn't really need to worry about. All he needs to do is cue them attacking, and units coming in behind, and they'll be able to flank these units, catch them in a crossfire, and destroy them. A few Rippers here trying to take care of this expansion, not making it very far. And a single wall there protecting mainly against all of those troops firing in because they aim towards the tower itself. That wall takes it, all the hits, the tower is protected. This factory line so far almost demolished by these troops. Mered has run his troops behind, doing a lot of damage. Things are settling down, but now Orb is actually hitting Mered's expansions. Quickly, Mered is pulling his units back, and we should see some units coming towards there, or not. Looks like Mered is not sending any units there, but he has his advanced factory up, and a teleporter as well. And we'll see where he puts that teleporter. Teleporters can be really good, especially if he tosses a teleporter down here and starts shoving troops all the way around. Advanced factory up also for Orb. He really pushed on it, lots of troops there. He probably crashed his economy for that. And seeing some naval now finally set up here, and we'll probably be seeing it coming from Mered. And Scheller taking shots at these incoming units, doing some damage. More units will be needed soon here. Single laser defense tower been set up. That doesn't help too much against all of these incoming enemies. They're mainly good against Doxes and light raider use. Mainly against bots, but not so much against Rippers. And it looks like a bit of an offensive went on here with Mered's troops. He's able to get them close in, and it looks like he's going to be building up a teleporter to send out units here. It's going to cut the distance his units have to travel from here to here, which may not seem like a lot, but in the 10-20 seconds he stays, that allows him to push forwards a lot harder against any enemy he encounters. More factories being set up here. There are lots of expansion going on, which is surprising. Orb needs lots more power. That's going to be one of the first things he should be working on, because without it he cannot see any incoming enemies. More factories coming forwards. Lots of engineers, which is surprising. Normally you don't see that many engineers. Naval factory going up here. It's almost completed. And we may see an advanced naval factory coming up as well, which would be a huge, huge help. Because any advanced naval could take out most of Orb's base. However, advanced factory units have really helped out. Scheller's doing quite a bit of damage. This factory line has been all but demolished, with more Schellers coming in. However, Vanguard's coming in to counter them, and that is not a good thing. And some levelers and Schellers as well. Mered's going to want to be very careful. Orbital going up, another smart move if he can get some anchors built up over Orb's base. He will really, really stop anything Orb attempts to do. Ripper's coming forwards with a Scheller in the rear, allowing him to take out anything he comes across, destroying these expansions. A real big blow to Orb. as Orb needs the metal pretty badly at this moment. However, he is getting up advance, which should help counter it. However, Orb is now overextending himself. And we've got Narwhal coming forwards here. And actually another naval factory. Got 2 naval factories and an orca being built instead of narwhals, which is surprising. In come some fighters, and those narwhals are able to shoot them. Pretty big battle going on here, lots of troops coming forwards. Not a lot of flanking though, except from Mered, who has troops to the side here. And if it wasn't for radar coverage, which I have no doubt Orb has over there, he would have seen these units, but he does have radar coverage, which means they are easy to spot. Fighters and bombers coming over, hitting that sheller. Now they're flying around, going for those advanced fabbers, and both the advanced fabbers are down, and that does a lot of damage to them. Orb really needed those. Orbital Fabricator is up, as well as that teleporter. We'll see what units go through that. And those bombers were able to take out large chunks of engineers. But now both Mered and Orb have overextended their metal economy. Orb's energy is crashing, and he is in dire straits. However, Mered has almost doubled his negative amount. He needs that metal to be reinstated, otherwise he's going to start really losing things here. Bad news for those narwhals. Those orcas outrange them, and they'll actually be able to push forwards quite easily. Still no naval over here, which would actually, if naval was built here, could shove it right here and probably go for a commander snipe at this moment. However, Vanguard in the base, it won't survive long, most likely. However, it's trying to find the commander, moving straight forwards. And it's almost down. It's finally taken down before it can get to the commander. Thankfully the commander was not out in the open. However, it did run through quite a bit of Mered's base, which is not good for him. Mered is starting to be overrun. He needs those anchors to be set up. With those anchors set up, he'll be able to rain a lot of havoc down on Orb and begin a counteroffensive. Those showers can outrange those turrets, which is not good news for Mered. Mered seems to have typed underscore for some reason. Not sure why. And that teleporter will be destroyed here if nothing happens with it. At this moment, Mered is in dire straits. Most likely will be able to get up the anchor, but he may not have a base left. Vanguard's coming forwards. Commander working on an anti-air turret. And now he's shooting at those enemies. And here comes Vanguards and Rippers. He's paused pretty much everything, trying to get those anchors online. And his commander will not survive here. Commander is taken down. Orb takes the victory. And that is all. It is a GG here from Mered. And that is the end of this second round game between Orb and Mered4.